and welcome back to the podcast. Loren and I are hosting, and today we have the one and only Kisar Dhillon on the show. I'm super excited to have him. I've known you for way too long. He is one of my mentors. The reason I got into personal training, and actually someone who really helped me start Fit Kitchen Direct as well. So Kisar is a fitness extraordinaire. He's been in the fitness and wellness industry for 20 plus years now. He knows his stuff. He owns a personal training studio that I used to work at called The Art of Personal Training, and just opened up Burntown Group Fitness in Vancouver, Washington. If you guys have not checked it out, you have to. It is a beautiful facility, and he will kick your butt per usual. So Kisar, let's jump right into it.
Right.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got into personal training first, because that was like your first thing.
So I was always that kid that got picked last. So,
really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still
reason?
skinny. I mean, I have skinny legs, and they're never gonna get big. And so I figured that my brother got me into like fitness at the age of 12. My mom bought us a Sears and Roebuck weightlifting set.
Yes.
So of course, then everyone just does chest.
Yeah.
So I had a really good chest at the age of 12. But yeah, then when I turned age 20, I got really into lifting, and I was obsessed with weight training. So I wanted to do everything in my power to gain weight, to get big. So I was just obsessed. I went from like 150 to 205.
Jesus.
In 6 months.
And how tall are you?
In 6 months, I'm 5'9".
And you're 5'9".
So it wasn't,
5'9".
yeah, and so it wasn't the healthiest thing to do, but I learned so much about fitness. I'm like, I did all the mistakes. I pulled all the muscles. I mean, I did everything that you're not supposed to do.
Ate everything incorrectly.
I ate everything. There's this place in El Paso, Texas called Whataburger, which is probably their equivalent of In-N-Out Burger. I literally would wake up at 3 a.m. and eat triple meat with cheese, and I'd Whata-size my onion rings and go to bed.
Just to make weight, right?
Just to make weight. I mean, I can go TMI, what I used to do, but yeah, I mean, I would literally drink protein shakes while I was going to the bathroom to keep calories in.
Wow.
I mean, so it's like next level. I don't know if people do that, but yeah.
They still do that, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it up.
Wow.
And then I just learned the wrong ways, and I said, okay, I want to get into exercise science, so I got my undergraduate in kinesiology. Went to post-baccalaureate school to get my master's in ex-phys. Didn't finish that. Got my heart broken by some girl. Moved back to California. Got my MBA. And here I am. So,
well, I'm glad you landed here in this room in our lives right now. You really have been a huge inspiration for us and a key starter for us moving forward. With a lot of your advice and direction, especially when we first started this. Like it's come around as an evolution to what it is today, but there's definitely a fingerprint of yours on it. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What was your first personal training job? I've never known that.
So I started training for the University of Texas at El Paso. They hired me on as a TA.
Okay.
So graduate assistant or teacher's assistant. So I taught their weight training classes, and then I taught their, actually they hired me for an aerobics instructor.
Perfect. That's perfect for you.
Step aerobics.
Because you were a competitive aerobics.
Yeah, and I had no clue how to do step aerobics. So I switched it into like an interval training class, and like 75% of the class dropped out. But the rest of the people who did it, they got in really good shape. And so, but it was just funny because when I did teach the weightlifting class, I was teaching it more of like a bodybuilding type of class. I separate all their muscle groups out. And the other weightlifting instructor, his name was Alexandros Papadimitrios, who was actually the hammer thrower for Greece for their Olympic team.
Wow.
And so they trained just like CrossFit and powerlifting. He's like, why are you lifting like that? Just dumb. Just do like 3 moves. So he would just like clean and jerk these crazy bumper plates, and that's all he did. So that's what first exposed me to also powerlifting, and sort of like before CrossFit became CrossFit. And but that was my first that was like my first training job. And then my second legitimate was I lived in Orange County from 2002 to 2011. I did in-home personal training for the 1%. As I always say.
For the very wealthy.
For the very wealthy.
Yeah.
So I bet you got some stories there.
Yeah, I have some awesome stories.
And talk to us about your personal training philosophy, because I've worked with this guy. I've seen him train people. It is very, very different. Very hands-on. explain it.
Very clean studio too. It's a nice, you're walking into a nice place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like I know some people may not like the fact that I say you train the 1%, but most of the 1% are the people that own companies, and the employee probably most of the 99. So they probably should look up to them. So those are my clients, and so they expected a certain level of service.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Show up on time, do your job. But I guess the one thing I learned from them was really good customer service. And so it really taught me that personal training, if you break it up in two different components, it means personal training. 50% of it is personal, which is all customer service and in relationships. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of it's 50% training. Training is the easy part. You can have some people out there, especially like on Instagram, they're killing it, but they suck at the personal relationship. And so they fail at being a trainer, and they'll probably won't succeed unless they master that component.
Yeah. You have
that
to.
Makes sense.
So it's both of them. So you can be amazing customer service person, be a horrible trainer, and probably be okay.
and still make
do okay.
Yeah.
Because you make a connection.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
What's your training style? Lots of HIIT, lots of strength training, combo, cardio.
I like it's a combination. When I trained at the Art of Personal Training, it was a combo. I don't like people resting.
No, he never lets you rest.
They're paying they're paying such a high hourly rate to begin with.
Yeah.
It's sort of like you have the time to be able to converse with them when they're warming up on the treadmill or the stair climber. Mm-hmm. That's your time where you could ask them questions, be an amazing listener, and then when they're done, then they're yours. You have to, you're going to take it over. But yeah, it's basically like I did HIIT training, I did cardiovascular training, interval training. Just constantly challenging their muscles, but not letting them rest. If they did rest, it's maybe 30 or 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless they had to go to the bathroom or something. But other than that, yeah. So that's my style of training. Some of the other trainers there, I think I'm really good at getting you in amazing shape. Mm-hmm. And so then if you want to put on size or you want to go into like powerlifting or kettlebell type stuff, then you'll like move on to like Thomas or you go into like Pete. Like
Gotcha.
I'm okay about saying that I'm not awesome at everything, but I know what I'm really good at. So I stick to what I'm good at and just get better at it. And if I get stuck, then I'll go find somebody who's better than me and have them teach me.
That's awesome attitude to have as a trainer, that you're willing to let a client go, income go, for the betterment of the client.
Right.
So, like I'm horrible at Turkish get-ups. Ask me to do one, I resist it big time because they're horrible.
They're hard to figure out.
So I can do it, but if you want me to teach it to somebody, I would say go to this person to teach it. Yeah, to show you how to do that because I don't know the exact fundamentals of it.
So speaking of the Art of Personal Training, when did you start this gym? What was the why behind getting it going, and where's it at? How long has it been around for?
I started the Art of Personal Training in Selwood.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, like in 2012. So I moved here in 2011, and I told my wife, I said, hey, give me 4 months to figure this town out because I have no clue like what's going on. So I wanted to go and open up a studio. I wanted to like go big. And I had a good friend back home and say, hey, you know what? You need to build a clientele first. Put your tail between your legs. Swallow your ego. Go rent space. So I rented space. It's $300 for the studio for a month.
Wow, it was
called the Green Micro Gym in Selwood, which is not there anymore.
That,
yeah. There's one in Belmont, and I built my clientele out of there, like all of it. And I had more people coming in to see me than he had people coming in to his gym.
Wow.
And so
within that 4 month period.
Yeah. So So then at 4 to 6 months, I had to leave because he wanted to make me an employee, take 30%. And I was like, you know what? So I found the Art of Personal Training over at the Olympic Mills Commerce Center. I didn't want to move in there. I wanted to wait a year, but I was just like, okay, I need to like do something. And so I've been there for, it'll be 6 years this July.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Was that a hard decision for you to make, going from working out of someone else's gym to that big step of opening your own place?
When I first moved here, I told myself that I didn't want to be a one-man warrior. When I was an in-home personal trainer, which is like what most trainers here just in general are.
Yeah.
If you're driving around, even here, and you're a personal trainer, you get hit by a car and you can't work for 6 months, you're pretty much done.
Geico.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I need to figure out how to replicate myself as a personal trainer. So if I do want to go on vacation, I'm still making money. I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you're in business to make money.
Yep.
I know.
Duplicated yourself out.
Yeah, so I said, okay, I'm going to hire people. I'm not going to be scared to do 10, or I'm going to get away from 1099. I'm going to hire employees and like build them up. And so that's what I've done. Hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
You know, finding good people and stuff is probably the most challenging thing, but
you've had your trainers for a long time, which is rare, right? Like you and I come from like 24-hour fitness world. They just turn. Like Thomas, Pete, all of them, Jenny's back. Like
I know.
They've been there forever.
Yeah.
So tell me who is a good candidate for personal training?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah. Someone who's a good candidate for personal training is someone, who's willing to create or to be able to create the hours to make it happen, meaning that there's going to be dead times, and being okay that it's going to take like 8 months to ramp up to have a full load of clients. Most people, when they see it on TV or whatever it is, they're like, oh, I'm going to become a personal trainer. I got my certification. I'm going to have a full load of clients. And then when it's a reality check, it's like, okay, 24-hour fitness will throw you like 5 clients. And when those clients leave, they're going to go make you work the supplement table.
Yep.
So it's sort of like, but that's also a thing, it's okay to work at 24-hour fitness and LA Fitness and Crunch because you'll learn your craft. You'll learn that you'll get sat down by your fitness manager and says, hey, Loren, you did $10,000 last month. This month you're only doing 2. What's going on? You're supposed to sell Megan on a supplement. It's overdue. Did you have her buy one? It's horrible. But it's a good sense of like, personal training is sales. Yeah. And so that's the one thing is that we'll pull people from 24, but we'll also pull people that can have a conversation with anybody. That's like one of the talents that we look for. I mean, I'll ask candidates, I'm like, hey, are you okay talking to an attorney who makes $750,000 a year, or talking to someone who has like a private equity firm or owns a big company, and knowing that they're part of that 1% and that they make a lot of money and they live in Portland, Oregon. Are you okay with that? And are you okay with being a really good listener and not talking about yourself?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. You gotta be a listener.
And then the last one is, are you okay with practicing what you preach? Because if you come in here and you don't work out, that's going to be a problem. I can't tell people to say, hey, and like a Craigslist or a link or like an Indeed saying, do you work out? I can't say you have to be fit, but it's sort of part of the job requirement.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
How long should somebody expect to have a personal trainer for? Is there a time frame? Is it unique? What is
forever?
Kisar always says forever.
So here's the crazy thing. So if I wouldn't have left Orange County and the place where my wife worked didn't like close shop, I'd still have my clients, which would be going on 16 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And they just keep coming back because they need that support.
Yeah. I mean, you do sometimes, not saying you get tired of them or they get tired of you, because it's sort of like you're always seeing them. So that's where you go on vacation or you take a break. But yeah, I could probably go back now and probably get most of my clients back.
Wow.
Yeah. They would be like, oh my God, you're coming back. Okay, let's do it.
Just because you've created that much of a connection between them and you.
Yeah. So all those clients in Orange County are all my friends. I can call them. I can ask them for help.
Yeah.
And same thing with the clients here. I don't train anymore. They always become my friends, because that's basically, awesome. I mean, you're there all day long. And so, and that's the one thing that like the new trainers are having a challenging time with, is that being able to develop a personal relationship with the trainers, and being okay with that. It's sort of like the new generation does a lot of texting. And when it comes to interpersonal communication, they have a challenging time with it.
Yeah.
And so, it's I'll say like Adam, he's doing really good. But when he first came on board, that was like, it was challenging, but he's killing it now.
Yeah, you gotta, you're so good at like always texting your clients, always talking to them, always being friends with them. And even when you're not training, I know you're still friends with.
Yeah, you want to be in their mind. Just like you guys' product. It's crazy, because then I literally go, oh, I'm gonna have some Fit Kitchen Direct. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. See, I hope people are talking about Burntown. I think when people start mentioning your name, like I call it Megan's Food.
Right. Yeah. So you've always called it that.
Megan's Food. But if people are talking about it, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have my Fit Kitchen Direct without even like putting it on social. It's more of like an everyday conversation.
Yeah.
And that's like golden, because it's becoming more of like a daily conversation. Like, hey, you're gonna make a Xerox copy.
We're kind of like we've branded meal prep.
That'd be nice if it's
kitchen.
like if it's branded meal prep. Hey, are you gonna do a Fit Kitchen today?
I love that idea. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think everybody should do that.
Yeah. Hey, you doing FK? You doing Fit Kitchen today?
Speaking of Burntown, so you got to tell us the lowdown of personal training versus the group training, and what are the big differences and what people can expect.
I mean, well, for one, is price point. I mean, there is a difference in price point. Yeah, with private personal training, it's going to be more expensive just because you're paying for that one-on-one attention. And not saying you're going to get more attention to detail. It just depends how good the coach is.
What's kind of the price range that people should expect
for a private personal training?
Private personal trainer,
anywhere from $75 to $100 an hour.
Okay,
and
in Oregon, California's.
Yeah, so if you go to an Equinox in San Francisco, it's like a 150 and above. But it's all relative.
Yep.
I mean, I had a few clients here where they were paying me $115 an hour, and that was okay. They're like, I know I'm going to be paying more because I'm going to be able to train with you, and they paid it all day long. People will freak out about that. It's like, oh my God, you're paying $115 an hour. I was like, yeah, but you know what? Also, if there was like some kind of alternative medicine person who was in Camas that had some kind of like would help you with your cancer or diabetes, you'd have no problem being in an hour and a half of traffic and go paying $200 a pop.
Yeah.
So it's just bad on how bad you want it. And so, what was your next question about group training?
The big differences between the group and the personal training. So we got price point.
Yeah, price point. And then the other thing is just there is some people that are individuals that want to have a camaraderie. They want to be with other people to challenge the community to challenge themselves.
Yeah. I need someone to beat.
That's Loren.
Group. I love group.
Yeah, so and so I mean you feed off their energy. Like I did group, I didn't do as much group. I do more group now. But when I did take group classes, I just felt that there was something lacking that I wanted to change.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started to create. That's when I did create Burntown Fitness.
Gotcha.
But the big difference is some people they work out in a group. Sometimes not even for cost. It's just more for camaraderie and community and just to challenge themselves because they might compete with somebody else in class. So I totally get that.
I always had my one or two friends that I always competed with in CrossFit every day.
I take a class every day at like 12:15 with this guy named Mark. He comes in and he's a few years older than me and he crushes it. But I'm like, we go back and forth.
Yeah.
And right now he's beating me and he's probably like 3-4 years older than me and I'm 45. So
you mentioned testing out, and I remember you doing this before you opened Burntown. I remember you testing out a lot of different classes. Talk to us about the different classes that you tested out and what components you liked that helped you create Burntown.
I mean, so I went to some of them aren't even here. I went to Barry's boot camp. You guys heard of Barry's?
Yep.
So they're everywhere. I mean, they got bought out by a VC firm. But I went to Barry's boot camp in Irvine, California because I wanted to try it out, and Barry's was cool. It's like a nightclub. It's not as big as you think, but the crazy thing is they pack it in. And I know I mean, you're in business to make money, but I liked it. It was cool. It reminded me of Orange Theory because it's all treadmill based. And then it's treadmills and weights. And so you do 15 minutes of treadmill, 15 minutes of weights, 15 minutes of treadmill, 15 minutes of weights, and then you're out. But it's so packed that when you're trying to do dumbbell presses on in the weight portion, you can't do them at the same time because there's so many people. You got to do one at a time. Everyone's doing right. Everyone's doing left. Everyone's doing right chest press and then left chest press. Yeah, because they pack them in. So you might have like 20 people on the treadmill and like 25, 30 people on the Reebok steps. So you got like 50 people in there. And so I was like, okay, this is it's cool, but it's also sort of, I'm not going to say cheesy, but it might ruin the experience of people wanting.
It wasn't the experience you were looking for.
Yeah, but I got some good
clients,
ideas out of it just in regards to like, how involved the instructor was. Because, they really couldn't, instruct. They can instruct, but they couldn't give me any personal attention.
Gotcha.
So I did that one. I did, it's called the 12 Movement, which is in Irvine, California again. That was awesome. Big facility, but that instructor I saw was just like crazy. She ran around everywhere and people were separated out. It was a huge like 5,000 square foot facility and she was able to give everybody their touch points. Like Liz and I were lifting. She came, dropped off 12 pounds for Liz. She's only using 10s. She came, got me some extra weights and then she bolted to the other side of the room. That was awesome. She was attention to detail. Okay. So that was like one of the personal touches. Like, you know what? I want that in Burntown Fitness.
Yep.
And then I went to, and I don't know them, but I also did some local stuff. Like I did Fulcrum Fitness and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was okay, but I hate the whiteboards. I don't like whiteboards in like CrossFit places. I don't like whiteboards and like, I don't want to like talk anything bad I did go to Fulcrum and they had the whiteboards, but it's their terminology. I didn't understand it. I've been training for 22 years. It's like, I'm coming to a class to get crushed. That's me. I don't want to like learn something. And the thing is that when I went to Orange Theory, when I went to Fulcrum and all these other ones, it's like, I don't want to wait 6, 7, 8 minutes for you to explain a class to me. I want to get going. Yeah. So that was the other thing. I was like, okay, when someone comes to Burntown Fitness, I want them to start working out right when they come in. Yeah. And not have to waste time and get the most out of their time so they can get in and get out and go home. Right. And so a lot of the classes that I went to would just waste too much time explaining what they're going to do rather than doing. So I'm a doer. I don't want to like waste.
I'm pretty sure you even did a few bar classes.
I did bar 3 class too. I did bar. I've done them. I did bar. They're great. But after the 100th rep, you're gonna, of course, you're gonna get the shake. Yeah. Oh yeah. But we're actually going in a few weeks because the bar 3 instructors came to our class.
Oh, fun.
And they crushed it pretty good.
Good.
Really?
So now we're going to go back, awesome. I think, on the 23rd or something, or 26th, and we're going to go, and I told the owner, I was like, hey, you need to, like, crush us bar 3 style. Yeah. So it should be fun. I'm sure we'll get our butts kicked.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
You tested all these classes out. Tell us more about what Burntown looks like. How many people are in it? How long is it?
Yeah, so after going to all of these classes, I was like, okay, the one thing is that I don't want it to be an hour. Because a lot of these individuals, they come at lunch, they don't even have an hour break or barely have an hour break. Barely, yeah. So I wanted to make it 45 minutes, because you can burn a ton of calories in 45 minutes. And I want them to be involved immediately when they come in. So I said, I structured it in four different rounds. So the first round is the warm-up. So now you're going to act, whatever the instructor is doing, you're doing. So the first 5 minutes you're doing like a dynamic warm-up, and then another like 4 minutes you're doing like basic warm-up, then dynamic warm-up. So you're actually doing something with the instructor, so you're following her or him, and then you break up in rounds 2 and 3, and you have a bunch of different sequences. And then the last round you come back as a community, and you do the round called the burn round, which is 20 exercises back to back for 10 minutes straight. Oh gosh. So you're constantly moving in the class. So you'll do, so for instance, like rounds 2, let's say round 2 could be a like a squat to a curl to a press, and then into a renegade row, and then let's say into like a bird dog. So it could be like 10 reps. It could be like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, back to back, and you keep cycling through those exercises for 10 minutes or for 4 minutes straight, and then you switch. You might do some kind of cardio component after that, and then round 3 comes in. You do a whole other different sequence, but it's all. I mean, and some days we don't even do cardio. Because the timing structure is the way we've done it, the timing and the reps is that your rest times are shortened, so your heart's going to stay elevated the entire time. So it's just more about, like our slogans, make every move count. Yep. So we want to make every move count by tweaking your rest times and your reps and your sets for everything throughout the workout. So but the ultimate goal is just you walk in, you don't have to think, we'll take care of it for you, and then you get in and you go home and you go do whatever you want afterwards.
That's awesome.
How big are you keeping your group classes at? Because like you said, like some of those group classes, you can get 30, 50 people
So the max is 14.
Which is nice.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's nice.
14.
And you still keep it very personal, very one-on-one.
Yeah, so it's so I took from the art of personal training, I think you had in one of your questions, I forget what it was, like the boutique or the luxury service and stuff, but it's touch points. Like as Megan could probably contest to, I'm really like when they say hands-on, you have to touch your clients sometimes to fix them or correct them and stuff. So it's okay, but you don't have to touch everybody. Some people don't like to be touched. You got to ask them. But like in touch points, when I did all these group classes, no one ever came up to me, or they'd come up to you and say, "Hey, you know what, Loren, you're doing a great job." Or to make yourself feel better, or you, Megan, it's like, "Oh, Megan, you're pressing like 15-pound dumbbells, they bring you 20s." And everybody sees that they just brought you 20s because they know that, oh my God, this girl's like really strong. She's really crushing it. They just brought her 20s because they know those 15s are, it just doesn't happen. It's just the little things, or just even like tapping you like, hey, just pull your shoulders back a little bit. It just could be like the micro touches. Yeah. And I think a lot of the group fitness classes neglect that. And people need that. They need some kind of reassurance versus like screaming your name on the microphone. It's like, oh, great, you just did 600 calories. Versus just doing something that everyone else sees it to give you recognition. That's like golden.
Yes.
So
that's the one thing that separates like the art of personal training and Burntown from like all the other, I guess, competitors. Yeah. Is that, we can't beat like the Crunch Fitnesses and LA Fitness in 24 because they have deep pockets and they can buy all the cool and latest and greatest equipment. But we can kill them and crush the shit out of them. It's part of my cuss word.
Your
on customer. We can kill them on customer service.
Yeah.
We can kill them
all day long
on the experience of coaching and giving them that, above and beyond experience.
Yeah.
Versus the big box gyms can't. So
very true. I grew up going to the box gym.
Mm-hmm. We all did.
Yeah.
And then having that experience of like one-on-one training and like group training, it made more sense to me.
Yeah.
And my personality type is the kind that loves the group training, right? Mm-hmm. You're more of an individual lifter.
I'm more individual, yeah.
And that's why we don't lift well together, because I just want to compete.
Yeah.
Right. Even if I'm going slow, I want to compete. But that's my personality type that would be drawn towards something like Burntown, and she would be drawn towards something like the art of personal training.
Yeah.
Right. So you're hitting a very unique workout regimen and personality type.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Do you feel people are more motivated in the group classes, or do you feel they're more motivated on one-on-one, or does it matter?
I don't think it matters, because we did some test runs here at the Art of Personal Training.
Yeah, I remember
to get
that.
ready for Burntown, and people loved it. I think when people do private training for so long, sometimes it's just good to give them a taste of like group training. So I think when Caitlin starts, we're going to be doing like a group training class there, for all of the clients.
Nice.
I don't even know if we're going to charge for it. My wife, just saying that, my wife will probably freak out, like, what? You're going to lose money?
So you heard that here, everybody. Free classes.
But we'll see. Yeah. So they the variation's good, but they pay for private training. They like private training. There's some individuals that don't want to be in group because they're just, for someone to walk into any group training setting or like a personal training setting, just to physically like walk through that door is like a huge. It's huge.
Yeah, that's giant.
Yeah, especially if you've never worked out a day in your life, which is a lot of clients.
Yeah.
Still a lot of clients. A lot of people come and never worked out still.
I'm surprised some people have just never really like moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessary in this day and age, right?
Well,
like
no,
we can live everything.
You can crush
we can do everything on our phones. Like you can be an internet billionaire just because you came up with something on your phone.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I've trained some people who are like amazed. They're like, whatever you want to call them, creative celebrities. I'm not gonna say who or whom, but I'm like, what? You never moved? Like what? I'm like, what's going on? So even in California, like you have all these individuals who are so successful, like in all areas of their life, but they're horrible at, or not. They're not great at their health and wellness and fitness.
Themselves.
Yeah. But also that demographic is okay about asking for help.
Yeah.
Which is like, I did like a little spiel on like, who I train and stuff. And so I said, those individuals who are like high operators or like the 1%ers and stuff, they're okay about saying, I suck at my health and fitness, or, whatever aspect of my life I'm not good at. I'm okay. I'm going to hire a consultant to make me better at it. I might not be like the best, but at least I'm trying to get better versus that's what separates them from everyone else.
They're like constantly reevaluating.
Yeah, they're okay with saying that I'm not good at something, or like I need help at that, so I'm going to go ask for help. They surround themselves with the smartest people in order to keep going forward.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, so it's really important, when people had one-on-one trainers, that they always have a relationship with them. That's why the clients stay with us. How can they do that in a group fitness setting? I think it's really important because your trainer needs to know where you're lacking and what movements so you do it safely. So how can they still have a relationship in group training?
Yeah, so I mean that's like I'm not saying it's the dilemma that we have right now. Like I'm not teaching any of the classes there, but so that was like the challenging part is like people would come into the classes and then they would leave and then I'd feel all hurt. I was like, oh my God, they don't want to talk to me, or I felt I'm butt hurt right now. They don't want to hang out, and some of them like that. They want to do the group class and they want to leave, but slowly, I'm teaching the coaches like, hey, you know what, you need to like chat with them, send them a text message and say, how was the workout? I don't want it coming from me, because then they're always going to be blowing my phone up, and I want them to have a relationship with you, because that's how you build your tribe as a group fitness. So I follow a bunch of like the Soul Cycle instructors in New York, and they're like celebrities. I mean, they have like their own.
Instructors are celebrities.
I mean, I've messaged some of them and asked them, "Hey, can I ask you some questions?" Like, I don't know if I can because I might be violating the Soul Cycle stuff. I mean, they have their own the clothing line. I mean, but it's all. I think it's all sort of like helped out by Soul Cycle. I mean, they have their own tribe. So I was like, I want you to follow. I tell them, I want you to follow these instructors from Soul Cycle over in New York, because that's how I want you to be. I want people to follow you. I want people to text you and start developing a relationship.
Yeah.
But it's a little more challenging with group because you're not seeing them, privately, 3 or 4 times a week.
So you touched on the tribe thing.
Yeah.
And most people call it community.
Yeah.
Right?
But tribe is the new word lately, I've been hearing.
Yeah, I've heard it used both ways. It's how do you define tribe, and how can somebody build their own?
That's like the magic.
That's why I'm asking. You're the guy that knows this stuff.
It's sort of like what I just told you. It's like when my wife or the people, the individuals that buy your food in Vancouver, or just in general, or say, hey, I'm going to eat Megan's food. I think once people start saying that, then you start creating your tribe. Like people are talking about it without you even having to actively reach out on social. Or they just talk about it in daily language. Like, I can't wait. I'm going to have Megan's pork bowl tonight, whatever it is.
Love that pork bowl.
Yeah. So it's almost the same. So right now, like we're doing a fitness challenge. And so we're forcing people to do social. And then I say, okay, now I know how people build their tribes. I'm sort of seeing it now that you have to sort of force them to actively participate in what you're doing, like with Burntown or Fit Kitchen Direct. It's like you're forcing them to tag you and this and that. And then after a while, it'll become a habit and their friends will see it and like, oh my God, I see Kisar eating, Fit Kitchen Direct, or I see Loren, he just posted, he just left Burntown Fitness. What is Burn? And then that's how it slowly builds. But I think at the beginning, it's a pain in the butt. It's not easy. It's like pulling teeth. You got to there's like some kind of hump. And I've been trying to figure it out for like the past 6 months. And then finally I say, okay, doing this fitness challenge is actually like helping us get over that hurdle. It's like forcing those people to like post and tag and ampersand it, whatever it is.
Well, we were talking before the show about like how to further refine your processes for getting people to participate in a way that you can like have some analytics towards as well. That part's
like what you said is like do it. I forget what you said, but do it. What did you say? You told me like we're trying to do Facebook and we're trying to do Instagram.
Do what's easy for you.
Yeah, do what's easy for the business, and then the individuals will follow because you're the voice. Say this is what it's going to be. If you want points, then this is how you're going to do it, and then they'll follow it.
If you give them direction.
Yeah, if you give them direction.
It's like bumper bowling.
Yeah.
With social media.
Yeah, it is. Right. And you have a board, and they like to put stuff on the board. So so this whole like challenge and like doing all the hashtagging and posting and stuff and forcing people to do it because they're actually going to win something and they really want to win.
Yep.
So it's sort of like you just not like you're herding cattle, but you're trying to steer them in a way how you want it to be.
Yeah.
So I think once you get to that point, then you can really open up your tribe. And I think like Soul Cycle and them have just like killed it. They crushed it. They're like the best at it.
Yeah. That's for sure.
So they're a good model to look at.
What can people expect when they take a group fitness class? I mean, there's even some group fitness classes that even I get nervous to like take for the first time. So what can they expect at Burntown?
Maybe for someone that hasn't.
I guess the first thing. So I've taken a lot of Burntown classes lately. I'm like doing sometimes 2 a days, but it also I'm doing. I have a goal.
Nice.
But what happens is like when someone I know that comes in, and this is I guess it's the cool part when you're starting out. I mean, like a brand new concept. Like I can be there a lot.
Yeah.
That when I see someone that's coming in that's sort of intimidating, I'll like actually work. I can't do it all the time, probably for the rest of my life. Hopefully, I have like 50 of these Burntowns. But right now, I can make them feel at ease and let them know it's like, hey, so I'm gonna follow you probably for the first half of the workout. This is how you do it when you first come in, and I just ease it with them to show you how to do the workouts. You don't have to go crazy. Go at your own pace.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't follow the person next to you because
that's a good one.
They can they can be way.
She does that.
Oh, man Megan. Yeah, you don't have. So basically, I say just put your ego aside and just the very first class, just go whatever pace you want to go. Just dial it back by 20%.
Okay.
And halfway through the class, if you feel you can go more, then go for it.
Gotcha.
But just work your way into it, especially if you haven't worked out in a few years. I'm amazed by some people. I was like, when's the last time you worked out? Like, oh, it's been about like 6 years. I'm like, really? I'd shoot myself.
Yeah.
Like, what have you been doing? But yeah, it's sort of like a normal response. So I just tell people just go at their pace. Don't look at your neighbors. Ask the coach, for any modifications. Do all the modifications. You can always start out small and go big. You know, don't go big because then you'll never want to come back.
I like that. Keep something in the tank when you're starting out, 20, 30%, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And then as the class goes on, I mean, there's always going to be like the fourth round.
Yeah, you can always give it your all
it.
at the end. Don't do like what I did the other day and went all out on my first sprint on that Schwinn Aerodyne or assault bike. I was done. It's horrible.
Aerodyne will ruin you for the rest of the day.
Yeah, so you have to just pace yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the first thing. It's just, the first 2 classes, just, if you're starting to work out for the first time after a long period of time, it's going to take you like 2 weeks for your body to get accustomed to exercising again. So just think of it as starting a new job. So just ease into it, ask questions. If you don't feel comfortable, then let us know how we can make you comfortable. We'll do every modification you want us to do. I'll even work out with you if you need to.
And when you get sore, don't let it scare you. I mean, I used to have to tell my clients all the time, you haven't worked out in 3 years, you're going to be sore.
Yeah,
you got to come back. It's going to be okay, and it's going to get better.
So the 2 weeks, always just give it 2 weeks. You're going to be sore.
Okay.
Your body's going to be changing. Just surrender. Basically, there's my life coach that I had back in the day said, Kisar, your problem is you don't like to surrender to the process. You always try to fight the machine. So that's the one thing I learned is like, just surrender to the process. I've been doing it a long time. I've heard all the reasons and excuses. Just wave the white flag and you'll be fine. Just trust the process.
Yeah. What's the best excuse you've ever heard?
I don't like to get hot.
I don't like to get hot.
I don't like to get hot.
I don't like to sweat. I've heard all these excuses, but you know what? But you know what? It's never. But you know what? It's never about. Maybe once in a while, but it's never when it comes to group training and personal training. It's never about money.
No.
Ever. Because that person who says that it's too expensive, you'll go see them at Ox, shelling out $150 for dinner with her friend, and you probably see them, and they know that you saw them. It's like, I'm like, there's your month of group fitness right there.
Right. Yeah. There it is.
So
in
it's
one
like
dinner.
You just want to just inhale it. So
and Ox, if you're listening, we would love a free dinner.
Yes.
Place is amazing.
Yes. So.
Yes, we love Ox. High-end group training versus the free boot camp.
Like boot camp?
Free booty camps.
Because it's getting to summertime, and I feel like this is the time where
this is when it picks up.
These free boot camps are coming up. How do people navigate around these?
You pay for what you get. So there's one out there, which there's you probably see on Instagram called is it the Transformation or something? It says free boot camp for 6 weeks. And it's like almost $600. So basically some of these people, what they'll do is say, hey, we got a free boot camp, but you need to pay up front your $500 or $600. If you lose 10% body fat, you lose 25 pounds, you get your money back. Which they know probably most people are going to fail. So they know that a certain percentage of them are going to pass it. So okay, if we have 100 people that sign up, we'll give like $2,000 of that money back, and we'll keep 8. So they just made $8 grand.
Upfront commitment. Fear of loss is what it is.
Basically what it is. So a lot of them do that, and then when you get there and you're sitting in the seats, you don't want to be like that person's like, I don't want to do it. It's too cheap. You end up shelling out the money. So, I don't know. I'm a firm believer if it's free. It's obviously you're giving it away for free because you probably suck. I mean, in layman's terms, charge for it. Because when you give something away for free, or someone's gonna give training away for free, people will cancel on you. They have nothing. You want people to be vested. It's like you guys giving your free food out for like, hey, we're giving free food out for a month. People will be like, I'm not gonna go pick stuff at Max Muscle. I'm gonna sleep. I'm hungover.
We gave so much free food away.
Yeah, and no one's gonna.
At first.
Yeah, but, I mean, I understand it's probably what you need to do to get your name out and their stuff, but people need to have a vested interest in their product or service in order to appreciate what they have, and there is someone on the other side waiting for you to like show up.
Right.
So if you have like money, and people are like, well, if I don't show up, I'm gonna lose $80. If I don't show up, well, I lost my food, but you guys still got paid. So they need to, so that's the thing about the boot camps is like, you might have 100 people show up, but I'm sure it's going to dwindle pretty fast because nobody has any money involved in it. So just charge something for it. $5. I mean,
something,
but pay up front.
Yes. I like that. We like the pay up front business.
Pay up front.
That our business is set up so that only so we know how much food to make and don't have food waste, right?
No, it's totally.
But having no accounts receivable helps the business. Stay afloat. Much better.
Yeah.
Much more solvent.
So tell us about Burntown, what people can expect, and then tell us about the Art of Personal Training, what they can expect there, and where people can find you.
And who did your branding? Because your branding is on
I gotta
point.
Everybody wants these damn bee hats.
I gotta give him credit.
yeah, you gotta give him credit because, I mean, it looks like an arm of Nike.
I mean, you can say it was you. That's fine.
No, it wasn't me.
And thanks for the hat too.
Well, anyways, the branding was done by Enjoy the Weather, which is Ian Coyle's creative design firm. So he used to be with Huge King Coyle. Then he started Enjoy the Weather, which they're off industry. And so they do a bunch of cool work for like the Jordan brand. They do, I think, some other big companies. But he's always...
They do lots of
I can
They're
see that.
always busy.
Yeah.
Always busy. So that was his claim to fame. It was a cool process to go through that and just sit down with an agency and just meet with copywriters and then tone experts and just, it was sort of like, it was neat. I understand now why these agencies charge so much for like these big brands, because they take you from A to Z.
Yeah.
And so I got lucky that he's like my business partner, because most individuals can't shell out, $200,000 or $300,000 for like
so
a whole
expensive.
Yeah.
People do not it really is like $200,000
it's a
for
lot.
a good solid brand. And Loren has this hat, and he wears it almost every day.
I gave you one with the even with the nice.
They all
embroidery.
my chef stole my hat. Like everybody wants this damn.
I love the
hat.
beads.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's great.
This is an off.
many
This is a
compliments.
one-off that has Burntown on the side.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
No, when you walk in there though, you feel like you're in something that has been well thought out.
Yeah, very.
Right? And that's the power of what branding does. And Burntown has that.
yeah.
Right?
So
Like Art of Personal Training is very holistic, one-on-one. It's a different feel.
Yeah, the Art of
completely.
Personal Training was me, as my wife would say. It's freaking rogue. It's like, not that she gives up on. She goes, that's just rogue. That's your first baby. I understand, but you know what? I kept that thing clean. It had to be
for
clean.
sure.
I had to have towel service and
So
coffee
clean.
and tea. Temperature had to be a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't want dust. I don't want to have the last thing you want is someone to complain, saying, you know what, your place is dirty, because you can fix that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have an idiot as a trainer, you can't fix that, because that's how they're born. That's their parents' fault. But you can keep your place clean and crisp
Keep it
and
real.
nice and polished.
Yes.
And then later on, you'll learn to hire better people.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, the last thing I don't want to get a bad review because we're just lazy. And so, but the Art of Personal Training has its own feeling.
Yeah.
And I love it to death because it's my first
Yeah.
place. But it's very boutique.
But you
I call it very
learn
luxe.
from that.
Yeah. And so when I did the Burntown, I wanted to create Burntown to become like turnkey. And so how do you do that? Like how can you replicate something from the very beginning? We did all the manuals, all the training manuals, all the operation manuals, and then I wanted to make sure that everything was like clean and tight and crisp when it came to the branding. And that's when Ian came in. He had to make sure the Pantone colors were all the right. All the font type was his creation.
Yeah.
Everything. I had to get permission for anything that I'm going to do in the studio. I got a little more free reign now with Instagram, but like for any of the wording and stuff,
Yeah.
it's all through him, because we want to get this lettering on the back wall. And I'm like, hey, what if I go to like an art institute or go to the local high schools and do like a competition? Right when I said he's like, no,
No.
absolutely not. It's like I just stepped on his head or something.
Because he's got a vision for this.
Yeah, so he has his vision. He already has it all set. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I just wanted to put it out there.
Yeah.
So hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I mean, both places are very pristine and clean. I've been in hundreds and hundreds of personal training studios, and a lot of them are not attention to detail. And I remember, I'm not kidding you guys, like he would vacuum 3 times a day.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that when you come home too.
I freak out to see a rock in Burntown. But I'm not at the Art of Personal Training as much. So when I go in there, I was like, you know what, I got to let Thomas and Pete and all the trainers, I got to let them have. It's mine still, but it's theirs. It's like their studio. They're making it, amazing. So I need to let them figure it out.
But being clean makes a world of difference, not just for your customers, but being a personal trainer. I mean, I worked in so many gyms where it wasn't, and that's hard for me. It's hard for me to retain clients that way. So having a clean, pristine gym where you have towels, you have water, you can adjust the temperature, the music's good. It's
just
key.
little things.
Yeah, it's just little things.
Well, they add up.
Yeah,
big time.
Right. to that superior customer service level. I can tell you're buzzing.
I can't wait because I love this portion.
What is it? Did I answer all your questions? I was
You
trying
did.
to.
I think so.
I?
You did really good.
I just wanted to make sure.
Is there anything else we should have asked you that we didn't?
I'm trying to think. Is there? I think this is a relationship.
You want to talk about Liz?
Talk about birth.
She's really the glue that keeps this all together.
Liz.
I love getting the insights of what Liz thinks about all these things too.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So this next portion is the rapid fire questions. You haven't seen these. You get 30 seconds, and Loren and I will alternate. We'll just ask you a really quick question. You answer as fast as you
That's
can.
fine.
Okay. If there's any you don't want to answer.
It's like Family Feud.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to get all of them
Top
right.
20 people.
Yeah.
All right,
Surveyed.
Get over 100 points.
Getting out my wonderful timer. All right,
You're
ready?
actually going to time this?
Oh yeah.
Got 30 seconds.
All right.
No longer.
You can do any, you know what? That's one of our slogans or whatever we say. You can do anything for 30 seconds.
Yes, I like that. You can.
Perfect.
Yep.
You can do rapid fire questions.
You can do burpees for 30 seconds. You can do whatever.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
So, cardio. I can't do
She
cardio.
can.
No cardio. No cardio, Megan.
Yeah, exactly. Am I
All
going
right.
first or you going first?
I go first.
You're going.
Okay.
Oh, of course you go.
I go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, favorite workout move?
Now is a burpee.
Oh, jeez.
Go-to music for working out.
Metal.
Oh, role model.
Oh, I should know this. Damn it.
Liz.
Favorite
Liz,
hobby?
Sasha. Favorite hobby?
Yeah.
I like taking naps.
Favorite cheat meal?
Oh, burger and french fries.
Of course.
Personal training or group training?
I like group training.
Good answer. Good answer.
Okay, lastly, where can people find you before we sign off?
Yeah, connect with you.
So the Art of Personal Training it's under my name, which is KisarDhillon.com or the artofpersonaltraining.com.
Spell it for us so people
So
might know.
Kisar is KISARDHILLON.com or the artofpersonaltraining.com. And we're in Southeast Portland over in the Olympic Mills Commerce Center.
Yep.
And then Burntown Fitness is burntown.com, which is BURNTOWN.com. And we're in East Vancouver. So 2004 Southeast 192nd Avenue, Suite 103, Vancouver, Washington, 98683.
Woohoo!
So,
Nice.
Role model? I'm still thinking
You're
about
still, oh
I'm
my
still
gosh.
thinking
Who's
about-
your role model?
We'll put it in the show notes when he this is...
Who is my role
is a
model?
serious
I don't know. I'm
question.
trying to think. But I was going to say one of the best trainings I did have, which I think everyone should do, is to hire like a leadership coach. I did one for like 14 weeks.
Life coach, yep.
So
Oh,
I had a
nice.
life coach for 14 weeks, and that was probably like the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
How long ago did you
talked
do that?
about it.
What's up?
How long ago did you do that?
I was 29.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so
I'm
at a very early
So I'm
age.
45. Yeah, like you guys, you should do it.
Yeah.
Best thing ever.
And he still
right.
talks about it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for
Yeah.
listening, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Meaningfull Podcast.
Make sure to hit subscribe because every time you do, a baby elephant gets its wings.
And if you want to be the first to get updates whenever we release a new video, click the bell button to turn on notifications.
Thank you so much for watching.